What is going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to another episode of Swoop Luke, and just like that, we're into the Collingwood Adelaide preview. Let's get into it. Before we get into it, of course, Footy Live supporting me throughout these match previews and match reviews on the channel and over on Instagram with the match roundups and quarter time stats and stuff like that. So be sure to go check them out. Links are down below. But it's preview time. It's a big game. When is it never a big game? Let's get into it. On Sunday, Collingwood take on Adelaide all the way over at Adelaide Oval again. So we played St Kilda, Adelaide Oval, went to the MCG. Obviously, on Tuesday we played Essendon Anzac Day, and then we're going to fly back over to Adelaide to take on the Crows. So Adelaide twice in 3 weeks, which is huge for our Adelaide-based fans. We love playing at Adelaide Oval, so it is going to be a really, really good game. And like I said just before, when isn't a Collingwood game a huge game now? I feel like, people were talking about us being premiership contenders and stuff since round one. And I guess, and I kind of dabbled in it a little bit, but it brings an added amount of unnecessary pressure for me anyway. And this is just my opinion because, I do all this content creation and stuff. And I just feel like it brings an added bit of pressure that you can't lose a game because people are going to jump off the bandwagon or whatever that may be. I don't think that's necessarily correct, but that's just how I feel. But it's a big game. Like, Adelaide aren't anyone to scoff at. They, we versed them last year early on. That was a really good game. I remember that game because it was like really hot. That was the game. That was the siren game, the emergency evacuation siren game, if memory serves me correctly, which was just so weird at the MCG. But now we go up to Adelaide Oval and we play the Crows, who just came off, I think it was a 3-point win against Hawthorn. And the week before in Gather Round, absolutely took Carlton to the cleaners. And I think that's the Adelaide that we're going to be playing against. So before we sort of touch on Adelaide, let's just quickly recap what happened on Tuesday against Essendon. First quarter, we are down. Jordan De Goey kicks a goal on quarter time siren. Second quarter, we kind of pick it back. We kind of show a little bit more fight. Third quarter, Essendon all over. Last quarter, we kick 7 goals. Essendon did very well to restrict us to the wings, not letting us play that corridor footy until that last quarter where we started to take the game on, started playing that Russian roulette, Collingwood-style football that we know and love, that Essendon, to their credit, weren't allowing us to do. Now, that is a blueprint, and it's happened a number of times throughout the season. You want to stop us, that's what you need to stop. You need to stop the corridor use, and you need to stop that run and gun and get us on that counter-attack, which Essendon were able to do, which St Kilda were able to do. A lot of teams, Brisbane did it the best, obviously, because they won. And I think that's what Adelaide are going to try to do. But with Adelaide, they're in the bottom 6 of all the teams, of all 18 teams, of playing in between the arcs. So their most recent games and stuff like that, they've allowed teams to do whatever they wanted to between the arcs, which means that we might be able to run and gun. They could change their tactics a little bit and kind of try and chop us off at their head. But for all intents and purposes, going off their previous games, they're not that good at stopping that sort of gut play. What they are good at, though, is they're really efficient when they get inside 50. They've got Taylor Walker, Darcy Fogarty, Isaac Rankin all in their forward line, and they're all very dominant forwards. Yes, Rankin only kicked a goal last week, but I think he kicked 4 or something against Carlton, or he's kicked a bag this year, and he's probably looming as the competition's whole recruit of the season, because coming from the Gold Coast and what he's been able to do at Adelaide is incredible. And he's going to be one of those players, kind of like a Jack Higgins sort of type, kind of like a Jake Stringer. Not that he got off the leash, but kind of that type that could just turn the game around. So I think you're going to put Isaac Quaynor onto him. It's going to be a really good fight. It's going to be a really big battle for Q. And I can't wait to see that. But they're forwards, they get it, they're really good at marking the ball inside 50. Of course, Taylor Walker kicked 4 last week. He's probably going to, try and have a field day. What does that mean for Billy Frampton? Does that mean that Frampton goes back? Do we need him back? Fogarty, Darcy Moore. It's going to be very, very, very interesting. I just feel like this is the game that's really going to stretch us thin. Riley O'Brien in the ruck, Thilthorpe as well up forward. So, like I said, Thilthorpe Taylor Walker, Darcy Fogarty, Riley O'Brien. It's going to be a big question as to how we line up. You know, Billy Frampton has done the best job he can. Amazing. I can't sing his praises anymore. I can't speak more highly of him. But we will need him down back at some stages. Does Ash Johnson just go into the ruck? Do they keep Kruger there, who didn't have a great game? He had a lot of opportunities, but didn't have a great game. Couldn't pluck him, couldn't mark him. A couple of dumb decisions, but it's only his second game since September or something like that. So, you know, that was always sort of going to kind of happen. But do we keep him there because we need that tall? We still don't have Mason Cox back. A lot of questions are going to be asked and answered on Sunday. That's why I think that this game, you know, as much as it is a test for Adelaide, it's going to be definitely a test for us. Do we really rely on, you know, our midfielders running through the middle and exposing Adelaide in the middle? But then, like I said, the ruck and the back line is going to really stretch us thin. So it's going to be very interesting to see how we fully line up. A positive is that we get Nathan Murphy back, who, you know, we all absolutely love. Credit to Trey Rusco, did a fantastic job. We get Taylor Adams back, so we get another bull into the midfield. So that's two really good ins. Adelaide might be losing Rory Laird. We don't know. He's had a bit of a calf complaint. He might not play, which is huge because he is such a good player. Ben Keys might tag Nick Dacos as well. We'll see how that works out. We'll see if Nick Dacos can shake a tag. But you know, in saying all of that, I am just really excited for this game. Like, yes, I'm excited for every single game, but this is a game where, you know, if Essendon's game was not a line in the sand moment, but a game that galvanizes us as a team, this game, going over to Adelaide for the second time in 3 weeks, versus a Crows side that, like I said, dismantled Carlton, but they got close to losing to Hawthorn. It's a very tantalising prospect. Talking of that Hawthorn game, though, that was just pressure-filled, and I think that is where we're going to get Adelaide on a defensive side. Yes, attacking, we run through the middle corridor, we know what we're going to do, right? But defensively, I think that that's where our game is going to be sort of won and lost. I said against Essendon we needed 60-odd tackles. I think we finished the game with close to 50. But if you look at the Hawthorn-Adelaide game, Hawthorn had 88 tackles and Adelaide had about 70-something tackles. So the pressure was really on. And when that pressure is there, when that perceived pressure is there that a tackle is coming, you start fumbling. Adelaide couldn't get the ball in well enough. They couldn't capitalise when the ball was in their forward line. They probably should have won by maybe 4 or 5 goals, 3, 4 or 5 goals. But Hawthorn just kept themselves in it because of that tackling pressure, because of all that perceived pressure. So I think that is where this game has to be a focus on for us defensively. Hawthorn won the hitouts, but Adelaide won the clearances. They did really well in clearances around the ground. So again, Billy Frampton or Ash Johnson in the ruck, our mids are going to need to step up, because Adelaide, you know, like I said, they're not anyone to be sort of scoffed at. They could be one of those teams that make the 8, and they probably will make the 8. They're a really good side. They're a really exciting side. You just have to look at that Carlton game to see how exciting they are. And, you know, there's a lot of predictions that have us, well, not predictions, AI predictions or statistic-based predictions that have this game anywhere between 1 to 15 points a Collingwood win and anywhere between 1 to 6 points for an Adelaide win. So those sort of calculations, and what I'm saying, that this game is going to be closer than we really think. My big calls and predictions for this game. Now, it's hard. It's hard to kind of predict this sort of stuff, but I think, I know I've been saying it's a close game, but I think Collingwood by 14 points. I think by a couple of goals, we're just going to sort of scrape it in. Not in that last quarter again. I hate to say it, but it's going to be in that last quarter again, in my opinion. But the big call is, look, you've probably noticed that Jamie Elliott hasn't had a good season. He's been well off. I don't know if it's an injury. I don't know if something is wrong with him, but I feel like he's been well off where we know that he can be. Shanked a couple of kicks against Essendon. Wanted to give off a kick where he would have usually kicked it. Missed one out that was 30 metres out. I think that was in the third quarter. So he hasn't been himself at all. But I'm predicting him to bounce back really, really big. Do you remember that time that he came back from injury? I think it was 2021, maybe? It was 21 when he came back from a really long layoff against Adelaide. And I think he kicked 6 goals. He was the reason why we won this game. I'm not saying he's going to kick 6 goals, but I'm saying that I think he's going to bounce back and kick 2 or 3 goals. And then that's my big prediction. Look, guys, that's just been my quick preview of this Adelaide game. It is going to be, like I said, a tantalising prospect. I am so excited just to see what this Collingwood team can produce. Again, we might be going into favourites as this game, but I still feel like, and I will always feel like, our backs are to the wall. Adelaide have pretty much got a full sort of side, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just trying to look at their side now. Yeah, they've got a pretty healthy list, besides Rory Laird if he doesn't come up. So they're versing us at a perfect time, right? To knock us off and to get another win under their belt. We have to produce the goods. We can't let another Essendon-like performance come into play. We can't let them kick 5 goals in the third quarter to none. You know, we were lucky to kick a goal in the first quarter. We saw it against Brisbane. We let them kick 10 goals in a row or whatever it was. We can't let that happen again. We need to be on our game, and this is, so far, this is our biggest test, the Adelaide Crows on a Sunday. Let's see if we can do it. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Leave your predictions, your comments down below. I read them all. I might not reply to them all, but I do read them all, and I do love every single one of you and appreciate you guys. We're at 4,500 subscribers, which is absolutely huge. I would love to get to 5,000 before the bye, but we'll see. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shakers. I'll swoop you later.